Alright, Section 10. Running 1,000 li.
So, what should we do from this point forward? I think our priority should be to chase after the Shadow Border.
Neja says that with the villagers to think of and the Emperor intending to kill them, we can't just leave them on their own. However, even though the Emperor could order Okta and Zhang Yu to come massacre the villagers, they currently have the task of escorting the border. And that should be a more urgent priority for them. Jin Kei also says that the orbital strike isn't something that Shi Huangdi would likely use in rapid succession. He wouldn't want to destroy his own land after all. They say, however, we can't just stay in one location. Our enemies will return and will be pinned down. Neja also says that it's impossible for us to bring the villagers with us, since that would get them involved in our fight.
Now then, what should we do, Gouda?
I'd like to hear about your plan, Jin Kei.
Mine? Yes, when it comes to planning, that's Jin Kei-san's area of expertise. I have to agree, but I have to agree as well. If you're asking in that way, then I suppose I have to respond. The greatest obstacle is the surveillance from the Great Wall. How many of Da Vinci's barrier devices do we have? Senpai and I have one each, and there's one more in reserve. Then we should split up into 3. A main group will pursue the Shadow Border, while the villagers will be split into 2 and escorted into safe places. Places that the Emperor can't observe.
She says that they would have to be locations like a cave or the middle of a dense forest where the aerial visibility is as close to non-existent as possible, since we don't know exactly how reliable the camouflage devices are until we test them. She goes on to say that the Emperor will start searching the moment that he observes the villagers have gone missing, and there will probably be a huge number of automaton soldiers sent to patrol the area.
There's no choice but to kick him about if we encounter him. Not like this terrain's any good for hiding. That's correct. That's why each of the 3 parties will need combat strength. No matter where they're headed, a battle with the patrol squads is unavoidable. Mordred and Neja, you 2 should escort the villagers. I will go with Mash and Gouda to chase the Shadow Border.
Neja says she understands, but what are they to do after the escort? Jin Kei says to hide and wait near Zhanyang until everyone can regroup together before attacking the capital.
Well, this plan feels full of holes, but that makes it more flexible, so it's fine. No objections from me as well.
It's decided then.
Do we really have to abandon our village? It's where we were born. We're truly sorry for getting you involved in this, but if you stay here, your lives will be in danger. That can't be. Just what did we do? You guys didn't do anything. Just because you knew us, the Emperor went nuts. It wasn't your fault. This is just what war is for civilians. Just think of it like getting hit by an earthquake or a hurricane. Don't say such terrible things! But, well, going somewhere else that's not here, it's... you know...
Well, it's like there's a burning in your heart. Like you want to shout out loud while running about.
It's really exciting, right? This must be that freedom that Spartacus told us about. Ah, that's right. In our world, this is a priceless treasure that's worth dying for. Ah, jeez. What's with these talismans? It's too broken that mere Xi'an arts conceal my saint graph. You are in a pathetic state, Koyanskaya. Ma, Akata-chan, you came to play with me. Quickly now, peel off those annoying talismans, please. I got careless and I dismissed those anachronistic Xi'an arts as no big deal. But this impudent little thing has a special curse that seals divinities. As I am now, I can't really deal with these. And why should I have to help you? Hey? Can you please not say such heartless things? In this Lostbelt, can't Akata-chan and I be said to at least have the relationship of actual allies? Oh, that's weird. The Apostle of the God of the Foreign Star should be nothing but neutral. They aren't supposed to side with any particular cryptor. Wasn't that supposed to be your principle? And that's just the public face that I put on in front of everyone. Akata-chan is actually pretty special. After all, we're old acquaintances of a sort, aren't we? I suppose. That's why I'm so surprised that you haven't noticed it. I've really hated you since long ago. No, I suppose it's better to say that I've really hated the vixen who is the same as you. I have no inkling of your vicissitudes, but this time too, you're quite the circumlocutory manifestation, aren't you?
Could have chosen an easier word to say.
Oh, speaking this and that of a woman's past is terribly insensitive. We are the same type, aren't we? As comrades in misanthropy, isn't this a good idea for us to get along? It's even more the case if we are talking about profit, Koyanskaya. Right now, what would I gain by helping you in earning Shi Huangdi's displeasure? Anna? So we're gonna have that sort of conversation, are we? If we're talking about business, then in this world, you're either the client or the product. I'd wished you'd always remain my client, but... Goodbye, Koyanskaya. Have fun plotting your wicked mischief to search for a chance to escape. She was serious. Those weren't the eyes of a recluse, jaded person with all things in this world. Has the unlikely reunion given her a spine? As a comrade, I'd like to give her my blessings, but... Truly, affairs of love are nothing but stupid. With this, one more ancient species will vanish. Well, if that's the case, then it's time to seek out new clients. Looking at it from another perspective, the number of things that can be sold has increased by 1. NFF service, let's go towards our dream. Desua?
Jinkei confirms we're heading in the right direction as she sees wheel tracks in the ground. Fo!
Ah, yes. It looks like it came along as if it was only natural.
Are the others alright?
You should worry about yourself first. How is your body doing?
Well, I'd say I'm perfectly fine compared to the director.
But we shouldn't increase the pace any further. We should conserve some strength for battle in case it happens. I agree. However, looking at these tracks, the enemy is already quite far ahead.
Jinkei goes on to say it's not possible to make up for the time lost. It would also be bad if we managed to distance themselves any further.
I'm not only worried about the Shadow Border, but also Da Vinci-chan and everyone else on board. Since Shi Huangdi's objective is to analyze the imaginary numbers dive engine, it's very likely that no harm will come to its designer. But, although there's no danger of an immediate execution, it is only a matter of time. Once the reverse engineering is complete, there will be no more use for the captives. Although we must not be too hasty, being too leisurely is also unwise. Gouda, I'm sorry, but please bear with it for a while.
Got it! I'm fine.
Enemy ahead! They're Chin automatons! So they've come. I did think it was about time we bumped into them, though.
Battle complete. Jinkei notes that there were a lot more of the enemies than she had expected, and this isn't on the scale of a mere patrol. Mash also says that there are automatons lying around which weren't destroyed by our party, which means they've already been engaged in battle with someone else. The ones that we fought might have just been for that battle, or perhaps they were sent to investigate it. Since Mordred and Asia were traveling in the opposite direction, Jinkei decides to rule them out as the culprits. And besides, in this Lostbelt, besides Caldia, there's only one type who would fight against the Qin Empire. And that would be stray servants, then.
That's very possible. This happened right after we got that reaction from the Spiritual Foundation graph. I don't think it's a coincidence. So if we meet up, we might get new comrades to fight alongside us. There's also the possibility that it'd end up being the other way around. Regardless, if we ignore it, we can't progress either.
Then let's search the area.
With that being said, at this rate, what I said would be just talk. I can hardly believe it myself, but these talismans are the real thing. At first, I was stunned at how unbecoming it was for humankind to maintain the Xian arts over a span of 2,000 years, but this Lostbelt is really too incompatible with me. Rather than maintaining it, it's progressed. In the first place, for a mere human to trespass into Mount Penglai and obtain the secrets of the Way of Shan is something tremendously against all reason. If he's gone this far, he should have just become a god and went off to stay in the other side. Why would he put on a nonchalant face and continue being an emperor in the human world? Well, nonchalant or not, he doesn't have a face anyway, that mecha emperor. Oh jeez, this is the mistake of a lifetime. I got tripped up all because I just couldn't read his expressions.
Hello, topless waifu.
Oh yeah, I thought that you wouldn't appear in this peaceful Lostbelt. So you really can appear anywhere, can't you? Priestess Sama of the Foreign Star. Ah, jeez. You're saying something, but I just don't get it at all. I wish you'd start remembering our language already. I wonder if Kirshtaria can understand you. If he understands what you're saying to us and what affairs you're recording. Well, that absolutely has nothing to do with me. I have a contract with the god of the Foreign Star, not you, his spokesperson. Setting that aside, can you please help to peel off these talismans? This Lostbelt's king is quite strong. Although the kings of the other Lostbelts are purely monsters beyond the ability of men, that Shi Huangdi is a man beyond the ability of men. Monsters possessing brute force are scary because of their existence in and of itself. But humans with wisdom are quite scary because of their actions. At this rate, this Lostbelt will slip away from the cryptors, you know. Before the fantasy tree can become your seedbed, perhaps that retro emperor will harvest it first.
Do not call me retro emperor, Yanyansky. Just what is retro about me,
Yeah.
Later. Why are you speaking to the wall? Have you finally gone mad?
I'm delighted that you go out of your way to peep at a woman's cell, Your Majesty. How terribly laughable it is that you can be an indiscriminate peeping Tom whenever you like, but fail to see what's truly important.
I have passed judgment upon Caldia. Thus the time has come to consider anew the conduct of the other visitor, namely you.
Ara. Then have you finally realized it? Caldia and you are irreconcilable enemies.
Naturally. However, that is not a reason to grant you pardon, for you have other crimes to account for.
Now, please don't say that. The enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? I'm Caldia's enemy, not someone who would mess up your Majesty's farms.
The magical beasts that appeared at the same time as Caldia and ate my citizens. Those were instigated by you, were they not?
Ah, there was that. That's, that's, you know, maybe they fell out from my luggage. However, is there any proof that this was my fault? The summoning of magical beasts and the summoning of heroic spirits are the same thing. Aren't Caldia just feigning ignorance about it?
Caldia will not do harm to the people. It is clear that they take a twisted pleasure in that way of being. Therefore, they would absolutely not partake in such acts of killing and devouring. On the other hand, your nature is that which greedily devours the people. Even without investigating the incident, it's quite clear who's responsible for this.
Naruhodo. Even though this is a lost belt, the records of my past self are there. What do you want to do, then? For you, Kaldi are the greatest enemies who will overthrow your country into chaos. If you understand that, you don't have the leisure to be concerned with me, right?
Ah, well. Parallel processing might be my specialty, but Caldia is still the task I'm prioritizing. I have no choice but to deal with you as a side job. Now then, time for miscellaneous work. As long as those talismans bind you, you cannot even offer any resistance. For inflicting pain, machines will suffice.
What?
Until such time as I am able to turn my attention here and handle things seriously, these puppets will torture you.
Eh? Wait, are you kidding? Even though you're Shi Huangdi of Qin, for your esteemed personage to have such a vulgar Guro hobby.
This is no hobby, but it is my duty as a custodian of the law.
Wait, stop! Yeah!
Unfortunately, being a servant or an alter ego, the characteristics of your otherworldly soul is something I have insufficient material to judge, and am thus unable to be certain. Inadvertently breaking only your body might free you from your shackles, creating even more work for me. It would also be quite the problem if I had to submerge the entire area in sulfur.
No! It hurts! It hurts!
But so long as that physical manifestation of yours exists here, you are bound in that vessel. This alone is unmistakable. And therefore, you will live in a state where your strength is reduced to the extent that you cannot plot an escape. So long as your flesh is drilled into day and night while avoiding the arteries, you will stay there, obediently without being able to cultivate any magical energy.
Please forgive me. I'll leave immediately. I won't step foot inside this Lostbelt ever again. That's why...
That will not do. You will commit even more evil deeds and other histories after leaving Qin, will you not? In the first place, you are not as you seem. Your weight, it's different from that of a servant's. Your soul, no. The mass of that thing you call a Saint Graph is orders of magnitudes different. It is nearly 100,000 tons in mass. Even I would be put off by that, you know? I am the Emperor who governs the world of man that lies between the heavens and the earth. Even if the times and the fates may change, the divine mandate does not. I cannot allow one like you, who is an enemy to humanity as a species, go free.
You care about the peace of the other Lostbelts? You really?
Indeed. You shall suffer here in the land of Qin until you become a rock. One day, if a proper sealing ritual can be constructed, you will be put to sleep. But until that day comes, it is a time of punishment. Consider the sentence of eternal Ling Qi to be in memory of all the people that you have killed so far.
Becoming a rock. I'm not like that Sun Wukong. No. Yeah!
Weak. Our opponents are so weak, they're not even worth mentioning. In fact, they aren't even humans, but puppets operated by machinery. It's too hard for a sadistic heart to handle. Under these circumstances, just when we'll be able to contract with a master? Should we ask them if they're a master before we kick them to death? Oh, that might be a good idea. But the one whom we must serve must be a person who can keep a smiling face even after receiving an accidental red hair kick. Oh! Foe!
Master, before us! There's people. No. There's a person and a horse, I think? The latter of which is somehow wielding weapons.
Oh, well, finally, we have come across servants like us. And furthermore, they are accompanied by a mage with command spells engraved upon his hand. How enviable this is! He seems to be a master who has fulfilled a formal contract.
So the two of you are still without master?
Indeed. If that master over there is searching for new followers, I must say that this encounter is truly a delightful, fortuitous portent. I would very much like a new follower. Yes, I would be delighted to join you, if you survive.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, from now on, we shall be trying to kill all of you.
Huh?
Oh?
Ah, so you're that sort. What are you convinced about, Jinkei-san? I don't get this at all.
We have an obligation to the lord we followed in life. Our policy is to hold in esteem only strength and swear fealty only to martial valor, so that the reputation of the Flying General may be preserved. We vassals shall not depart from that way of being, no matter how many times we are reincarnated.
The Flying General. Then you must be the man that goes by the identity of Lu Bu's chief strategist, Cheng Gong.
Seeing as I am a strategist who serves in the backstage, there's no real name for me to hide. However, for one to become a general, or in other words, someone we can entrust our lives to, they must also have the ability to kill us. If not, it would be problematic. Therefore, we will be attacking you now. If you lose your lives just from that, then that's all that then that is all the fate which we had. I ask of you, are you my master? There's no need to answer. Kill! Am I Asian? No. I'm white as rice on snow. Oh yeah, that's far enough. So, what do you think? Are these people mighty enough for us to be worth serving, Red Hair? That was fun! Such commanding aura and mighty reminiscence, not only of Lord Lu, but even of the Lord of the Beautiful Beard. You are worthy of riding upon my back. Anyway, I am Lu Bu Fengshan. Nice to meet ya. Eh? You can ignore that. It's not a particularly serious problem.
Well, how about it, Master? There's no harm in adding such excellent servants to your command, is there?
Well, Yoroshiku, yeah, nice to meet you. Haha! At this time, Chen Gong Tai will now honor Guda Dono as my lord in his life, and bet my body and life on this loyalty. Foe.
This isn't really the time to be throwing a party, you know?
More automatons have showed up just like the ones before. Chen Kong says he's quite pleased now, as the time has come to show their usefulness so quickly. Jin Kei corrects herself and says that perhaps this is the best kind of welcoming party for battle maniacs like them. Now then, let's go wild for a bit more. Chen Gong Dono, please get down. Why, I was just about to go wild with my own prided tactic. That's because Chen Gong Dono's only tactic is just right there, blow yourself up, isn't it? I'm not a robot, so that'd kill me. Clicking his tongue unhappily.
Hello, hello! Can you guys hear me? Did you want to hear my voice?
Eh? Oh?
Da Vinci-chan.
Da Vinci says that she's somehow managed to invent a portable communicator that utilizes imaginary number space theory to widen the communication radius and get in contact with us.
No, it's not about the distance. That's right. When was everybody captured? Or weren't you all still captured?
Holmes says that they are still in captivity, currently in isolated rooms. Da Vinci says right now they're all in a detention center at Hong Kong. She had to wait until nobody was looking to use the communicator. Jinkei asks if they won't just confiscate the devices. Da Vinci finds it strange that they didn't confiscate their stuff at all. She thought that there might have been some silly plan to let them talk in order to overhear valuable information. They go on to say that since they were sent to individual rooms, it doesn't seem to be the case. Any weapons were also confiscated, so security wasn't negligent either. From this, Da Vinci concludes that they didn't notice the communicator. Or rather, they didn't realize that it was a communications device. Holmes says that here there is a preconception that there's no reason to be walking around with a communicator. Jinkei asks if the guards at the detention center are that lax about their duties. The technology here at this Chinese Lostbelt may not match our idea of common sense due to it. It's not only more advanced, but it's also inferior in some regards.
Oh, that manner of speech. Have you noticed something, Holmes?
Yes. Shi Huangdi obtained immortality by mechanizing himself. Afterwards, he expanded his functions until he became the form that we see now. Even so, don't you think it's a bit too large?
Now that you mentioned it, that's right.
To continue, there's a big disparity in technology available to the Emperor and to his citizens. Although advanced medical and biological science is made available to the people in the guise of a blessing, the mechanical implements they have appear to predate the medieval era. That is an intentional policy to thoroughly keep the masses in a state of ignorance and illiteracy. In other words, though the Qin Empire may have advanced technology, it's reserved only for the ruling elite. Here, technology is definitely not diffused to the public.
Yeah, Edison would get pretty mad if he heard that.
The bio-wheat that the villagers grow are mainly used for fuel rather than for food, are they not? Which means that even with all this amazing technology, their power generation system still relies on thermal power.
Wow, but yeah, now that you mention it.
In terms of cost efficiency, you can only call it the peak of foolishness, but all of that energy is monopolized by Shi Huangdi himself and the accompanying capital of Zhanyang. That may be sufficient. Even if environmental concerns are discarded, such a serious result could not have been reached unless no one else was using any electricity.
It's because the Emperor here seems to have occupied the entire planet.
Now then, from here on, it's a thought experiment. Under the circumstances where the necessity for the diffusion and mass production of technology have been completely lost, what would be the aspect most neglected?
Oh, miniaturization and efficiency, right?
That is correct. This is how technology is made compact and cheap, finally spreading to the masses. However, there is no need to consider that in this Lostbelt. It's considered too wasteful to put into practice and maintain at that scale for an information gathering ability able to monitor every inch of land in the territory. But if Shi Huangdi is the only person operating it, on the other hand, then there are no inconveniences. There's no need for the invention of the integrated circuit. Any problems of cost can be ignored by mobilizing the country's financial power and endless labor. It's like the pharaohs who built the pyramids. The inhabitants of this world cannot even begin to imagine carrying and using portable mechanical equipment. There's no need for a personal communicator. You can communicate at any time with Shi Huangdi after all. Communications is something monopolized by the Emperor himself. There's no necessity for the masses to have personal communication, and that action is itself not permitted.
And so, for us to be communicating like this is
something they haven't even thought of. Da Vinci says Shi Huangdi had a clear arrogance displayed in thinking that the Qin Empire was superior in pan-human history in terms of civilization. They go on to say that though he took an interest in the Shadow Border's imaginary numbers dive as an exception to that superiority.
The enemy's arrogance is our ally. Let us take advantage of it as much as we can. Anyway, with this, the location is clear. Ankang. It's a day or two from our current position.
It would be good if you could hurry, though, because the new director has been quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah. Gordolf-kun is resting. Actually, he's weakened and he's lost consciousness. That can't be. There should still have been days to go. From the effect of the poison, he didn't look that frail, though. Koyanskaya's poison, huh? It's a rather troublesome thing that changes its efficacy depending on the karma of the one who ingests it. I'd say it's something akin to the three corpses of Taoist mythology. Although you only showed symptoms of a cold, Gordolf's digestive organs were being affected.
Eh? Well, I did think it was strange. I didn't even see the old man display his usual obstinacy about eating since arriving here.
I guess he couldn't swallow anything in the first place. While in the border, he was secretly on an IV drip. I'm sorry for not saying anything. Not that I could. He was very stubbornly insisting that he didn't want to worry anyone else. Director Gordolf was fighting when on his own where we couldn't even see.
You. Bacon. Bacon. Q. Bacon. Q. For that guy to be unable to eat must be harder than not being able to breathe.
Yeah, and since I'm locked up in here, I can't give Gordolf any more medical care. And so his condition has worsened drastically. The wardens don't seem very concerned with helping him either.
What concerns Shi Huangdi is Da Vinci's brain, not Mr. Gordolf's health. In fact, the Emperor probably doesn't care whether the other captives live or die at all.
We can't stick around here. Let's go save them, Senpai.
Please do. The circumstances are quite urgent, but it's not all gloom. There is another surprise guest awaiting here.
Holmes, this isn't the time to be pretentious.
I suppose you're right. Then I'll tell you the good news. Apparently, Koyunskaya has also been imprisoned in this facility.
Eh?
If we can meet up here, we can overturn our critical situation in a single move. We will have a chance to secure that woman in our custody. Ooh, chat. Chat, you see, Gordolf isn't that bad of a guy. He's strict and a stickler for the rules, but at the end of the day, he is a leader. And he will face hardship and put on a brave face for all of his followers. Salute the Gordolf. Alright, let's go on to Section 11. The Lady of Red Poppies. Alright, Shi Huangdi is asking Hinako what she thinks Claudia's next move will be.
Yes. I foresee that Gouda will head to the detention center, as there is no doubt that he will forsake his allies.
Or he won't forsake his allies. If you assert so, then I have nothing to argue against. I have no knowledge of what kind of petty trick they had played to escape my eyes, but there was certainly a report of a skirmish likely from them nearing Hong Kong. Very well. You have my permission to stop over there. I also entrust the command of the security troops should there be a need for them. However, Kawaji Type 0 will remain to guard Shanyang. No matter what, this place is the most important.
Yes.
Ah, that's right. I should be calling him Zhang Yu before you.
You jest. I am not bothered by how that person is called.
But, supposing that your foresight is correct, this will be the ideal opportunity to redeem yourself. Go on and make up your losses without fail.
As you command. You may leave this to me. You don't look very happy, Saber. Caldia's capture, and Koyanskaya also kept captive with all of them in this place. If we think of it with common sense, it's an ironclad rule to imprison the enemy in separate places. And to circumvent them from conspiring for a chance to escape. But, rather than the threat of the enemies joining forces, Shi Huangdi's concerns are over the number of enemies present. To him, the enemy is like a disease. It's much more logical to quarantine the source of infection in a narrow place, right? When the time comes, then they can all be felled in one fell swoop. Should the captives point their blades at us, will this land see another star fall onto it? Yes. If it's that, Emperor, then should such a time come, he will not hesitate at all. I am fearful. The gaze of the Emperor who obtained immortality, his way of administration, this Chinese Lostbelt, the shape of this eternal Qin Empire. Master, what are your thoughts? I don't give a damn about the shape of the realm of people. They can just kill each other and bring themselves to destruction for all I care. That's how they've built countless countries and burned them without learning their lesson. They're just hairless monkeys pretending to be rulers of the planet by overwhelming everything else with their numbers. All of them should just perish without a trace. I couldn't care less about what kind of fate they reach. My apologies. You too were once a feudal lord that strove to protect your country and people. Please, do not be concerned about that. Your anger is understandable. You must surely think of me as a repulsive woman. Heroic spirits like you are just being used to serve the passions of a single person. No. Passions are such fleeting and changing things, which is all the more why they are scorned as shallow. However, your feelings are unchanging even across time. If so, then it's natural for that to have already come to conviction. And serving my master's convictions in the battlefield is the honor of a warrior. Saba. Therefore, the Prince of Lanling has not a shred Therefore, this Prince of Lanling has not a shred of regret waving his blade as your servant. Thank you. For someone like me. That's the detention center, isn't it?
Oh, foe! Jinkei says that infiltration of this facility is going to be difficult. Even though we've made it this far with Da Vinci's stealth device, it'll be difficult. It'll be more difficult from now on than before. Then in that case, there's no choice but to perform a diversion. Jinkei Dono is an assassin servant. It's safe to assume that stealth is her forte compared to the rest of us, yes? And causing great rampage is my forte. Jinkei says this is truly so and accepts the proposal. The plan is for her to sneak into the facility while Red Hair and the rest of us will wreak havoc by the front gate. Zhengong says her priority should be to rescue Da Vinci and the rest. Securing Koyanskaya will depend on how much more time we can buy her as the guards are distracted. Jinkei says that she will do her best to perform this duty and leaves the care of us under Chen Gong and Red Hair. Leave it to me. Now is the time to show my valiant form, which can run 1,000 li. Red Hair Lubu Dono, I need not remind you, but please do not run that far. If you disappear from my sight, I'll snipe you from behind. Are we clear? You're cautioning me just as I was about to stray from the strategy, right? Thank you.
Anyway, Mesh Kyrie Light, prepared for combat.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, they're here! This unrestrained commotion.
Miss Daguda isn't the type to break through the front without thinking. Which means...
Sorry to have kept you waiting. Is everyone alright?
I would like to celebrate this reunion with a toast, but now is not the time. How is the director?
On the way, I snatched some grape syrup from a sickbay. There's a syringe, too. As expected of Jinkei, you didn't miss anything.
Well then, it's time for our counterattack. It wouldn't be nice to leave all the hard work for Mr. Gouda. Outside, it would appear that our diversion is successfully causing panic within the security, so we continue to push through, causing destruction in through the front gate. This goes like this, it becomes like that.
How is the analysis of the vehicle called the Shadow Border, Your Majesty?
It's very intriguing, extremely intriguing, and yet at the same time I have many questions. The principle makes sense. The construction is understandable, but I fail to comprehend the necessity. Why is it this small? It's possible to replicate such a form with Archin's technology, but likely it would become the size of a dreadnought class. To have a meager armored vehicle of this size to manage it all. Is that where their efforts went to? I can only express my amazement. It's outright lunacy to have it as an electronic system. This really all feels like dissecting a flea. I have certainly been given a challenge of my patience since such a good long while.
Ha! It's a miniature, you say?
It appears that efficiency has been greatly prioritized and there have been compromises made with its performance. Resources must have been very scarce. No, that's why there's no silicon. They most really dislike vacuum tubes. Ah! No? Have you thought of something, Han Shin?
Yes! Well, about that. Since they're so good at miniaturizing electronics, perhaps they could also miniaturize communication devices and carry them hidden.
Humu. Immediately, we shall send reinforcements to the detention center in Hong Kong. No, it's already too late. Just now, the security report from the facility came through. They are already in combat. Hey, what kind of world are they from? The separated population, not concerning themselves with me. The mere population have their own means of exchanging communications. That is the very manner by which Ru unendingly spreads like wildfire. There will be no way to severe the damages from war. In short, they are the very harbingers of calamity. Humu. We shall destroy them. Swiftly bring them down. That is like a wind that carries disease. No more can we allow them to damage this healthy land of Qin.
Yahoo! Have you been doing well, Gudakun? Da Vinci, and everyone else too. Ah, and tonight we also have a surprise special guest over here.
Pout. Grumpy pouting. Koyanskaya, it's been too long. Big hugs. Whoa.
Well, Fosan, you can't just lunge over there. Calm down, please. Well, it's an extremely unpleasant development. Even for myself, being caught here has me in a stalemate, so there's no way around it.
Of course, you have firmly promised to provide the antidote as a condition for your release. You won't suddenly have any objections, right, lady?
The problems won't be solved without some sacrifices. I don't break my promises, unlike you all. You humans. All right, there's no longer any need for us to dally here. Let's break out.
I will not allow that. It'll be troubling for me if you look down on us like that.
The Prince of Lanling.
The outer fortifications have been settled. All of you are now trapped like rats. This time, I will surely perform your last rites. This intensity. Things have turned critical now, I see. Master, please take caution. The enemy leader has been intentionally waiting for us to reconvene before surrounding us in their encircling formation. These tactics are likely anticipating a sure-win victory.
Or perhaps we were led into a trap. Huh? You guys came all gung-ho to rescue your friends without any proper fighting power.
Sorry, but it wasn't just out of impulse.
Speaking of which, you guys have that kind of ecology. It was foolish of me to expect anything out of everyone from Caldia. Now that it's come to this, it looks like I don't have a choice. I shall pitch in and offer my aid. I'll have to disregard the small details here.
You, that alter ego over there.
So you would frivolously side with the enemy to protect yourself? Yes. Following His Majesty Shi Huangdi's continued poor treatment, that master over there had also thrown a letter of divorce to me as well. In the first place, I've expressed it quite clearly. There are only customers and goods in this world. Though they struck a hard bargain by taking advantage of a slight weakness. Caldia is now my transaction client. Even if it's yesterday's customer, I shall mercilessly bring upon the sales catalog. Ah, this one's someone you definitely don't want to share your personal info with. Most of all, sometimes these kinds of developments are more erotic, don't you think? Friend or foe, alas, the mysterious beauty Koyanskaya's aim is.
Foe? Already foe? I see. Koyanskaya's aiming for harem protagonist EX. She has fallen for us. We did it, chat. We won.
Now then, while audacious, shall I introduce some highly recommended products? A precious breed stocked from a peaceful world of snowy plains. A new disastrous familiar to counter the pan-human history. The Nine Foxes Foundation's newest proud new product. Showcasing the Frost Giant.
No, they didn't use Harem Protag EX. I used Harem Protag EX. Pulling out some hair and blowing it with her breath. Just by doing that, she's able to call out her familiars. What is that? A giant? A giant made out of frost is over there. Koyanskaya instructs us to focus our attention of the enemy servants, since the frost giant will keep the guards busy. She says that the Prince of Lanling is a troublesome servant, and it'd be best to defeat him now since he's not blessed with a good master. Nonsense, you vixen! What do you know about that person? Expanding her last command seal without hesitation, huh? Akuta is finally getting serious. Yes, but that's a fatal move. Because she has logistical support unbefitting of her usual character, her positions are just so obvious. Hi! Boom! Ah! Oh, I'm sorry, that's Hinaka.
Ah!
Master!
A simple booby trap assembled with local resources. Was it to your liking?
What a wicked fox! Such an extreme woman in skill and appearances!
How dare you, you vixen! Ah, crap. That didn't finish her off. Gouda, stop the Prince of Lanling. You must not let him get close to his master.
Master!
He just deflected me and fended me off. Saber.
Master! Next to me!
Acha. Looks like it's checkmate. Let's escape now, everyone. Okuda Hinako received a fatal injury, right? Any further combat should be impossible. Ah, it looks like none of you have realized it yet. This is a fair warning. Immediately retreat. We could leave that alone if it was just a servant. Prince of Lanling. My master, now that it has come to this, I am prepared. Please, take me as a sacrifice. No, I can't just... I understand your disgust. Consuming others for nourishment. The very same actions of those humans that you could not fail to hate. However, even so, right now is the very time to lose yourself to that humiliation. You have met him once more. Remember that eternal lament, that endless loneliness up until now. Prince of Lanling. You must live, my master. This time together with that man. Live together with Zhang Yu. Watch over your fates together.
What on earth was that?
She devoured her servant. Absorption of life force. Monometabolism? No way, this shouldn't be possible unless you're a bloodsucker. No, even if that's the case, that's a servant, you know. Completely draining a heroic class spiritual core. That shouldn't be unless it's a true ancestor. Okuda Hinako, are you actually... For such an end. Are you sure this is fine? My master, please, listen to my final wish. In the midst of eternity, among the valiant heroes that you have known, their numbers countless like the stars. Among them, why did you have me? Why did you summon this Gao Changgong as your servant? Long ago, that magnanimity to exchange words with me without fear. Even after wandering for a long time up till now, they are still memories that soothe my heart. Ah, it is of great honor, my master, Yu Mei-ren. Yu Mei-ren. Did he say Yu Mei-ren?
Oh no, chat. Are you ready?
You there, you're being too surprised. After all that commotion over Zhang Yu, someone of your level should have been able to grasp that. Well, heroic spirits, ray shift, for you all who were struggling with such things, realizing that the real deal that lived for close to 2,000 years was right next to you, would probably not settle in instinctively. Everyone else in the cryptors didn't know about this. Only myself and... Likely, you will not be able to understand it. That youth and that beauty is only a curse to you. However, it is certain that there are indeed things that are eternally beautiful. For those who are destined to crumble and wither, such a great consolation. If only there was a way to relay that.
Now, I'm confused about whether this is... I've seen this translated for her name multiple ways, and I'm not sure which is proper. I'm not sure whether it's Yu Miao Yi or Yu Made In. Anybody know Chinese? Anybody at all? Chat? Which chat? Oh, either way. I'll just continue with Made In then. Is it Yu Miao Yi? Okay then. I will trust you, chat. I will trust chat. Which is probably a bad idea. Trusting chat, forehead.
Until today, I had decided to kill in a proper and humane way, whilst I dealt with you all in the form of a human. But now that I've revealed this form, there's no room for mercy. My sworn enemy, Caldia, crumble to my curses. Now what do we do? That's a serious true ancestor that ate up a whole saint graph as a heroic spirit. And also in the midst of an angry fit. Do you mind if I take my leave first?
Yeah. The true ancestors. The vampires. Alright, section number 12. The passerby of long ages. Jin Kei is surprised at Yu Miao Yi's seemingly bottomless magical energy supply. She's able to unleash powerful attacks without end. Chat, in gameplay terms, that means she noble phantasm you every turn. Da Vinci corrects her, saying that she has no concept of storing magical energy in the first place. What Yu Miao Yi is using isn't magical energy from within herself, but drawing upon the inexhaustible magical energy of the world itself.
That's what a true ancestor is. A spirit of the world incarnated in flesh. Well, I didn't expect there to be a true ancestor produced in China, though. Finding her is just like trying to trade blows with a tsunami or a hurricane.
Can you explain it in a way that even a horse can understand? To sum it up, our goose is cooked. Eh? Isn't that really bad? Yes. Though, since we are all going to die, why not have everyone else besides me self-destruct, exploding our way out of this fatal situation?
Oh, that's enough! Stop your ceaseless banter! Master! This is bad. I'm approaching my limits.
The farce stops here, Akata Hinako. No, now that you have exposed that form, you can no longer be addressed by your false name. Even so, you did not give me any other name. Well then, what shall I call you?
You dismiss my rage and my course as a mere farce, Earthly King.
What is it if not a farce? Or did you overcome eons to arrive here just so that you could curse and trample upon these people? Undying one, true one, it is because I respect that nature of yours that I cannot stand to see you lose it. First, you should return. Then do anything that you need to do. You still have a covenant with me that is yet unfulfilled.
You merely want me to act according to your interests.
As I just said, remember why you came here in the first place. What connection could they have, those two? Oyenskaya also wonders what connection there could possibly be between you and Shi Huangdi. One who has overcome eternity should not be swept away by momentary rage. Do not forget that it is what you truly speak, what you have gone to all lengths to obtain.
Yes, I know. I will be dissuaded for now. Akuta-san, no. Yu Miaoyi has retreated. I'm so tired. Spells really are troublesome to use. With regards to that, man-made weapons really are so much easier. You just need to pull the trigger. I'll praise humanity just on that one point. Whether it's amusement or weapons, being able to kill someone so easily is just the best.
Koyanskaya, you knew this from the very beginning, did you not? That Akuta Hinaka was Yu Miaoyi. From the Song of Geisha. Yes, she is often spoken of in relation to the story of beset by enemies on all sides.
My strength plucked up the hills, my might shadowed the world. But the times were against me, and Zhui runs no more. When Zhui runs no more, what can I do? Ah, you, my you, what will your fate be? So that Yu Miaoyi wasn't human, but it continued to live until modern times. In the first place, I'm surprised that the legendary Yu Miaoyi was a blood-sucking species, a true ancestor. Of all things, why would such a monster have slipped into Caldia? Volunteered as a ray shift candidate, and to make things even worse, become a cryptor, then cooped herself up in the Chinese Lostbelt. Ah, jeez, I just don't get it anymore. Yeah, looking purely at how things ended up, it's a chain of events as unbelievable as getting a hand of 9 gates. However, if you trace it back to where it all began, then it's extremely simple. It was Mars Billy's scheme. That's all there is to it.
By the way, chat, a hand of 9 gates is the rarest winning hand in Mahjong. For those of you that don't know that reference. As was expected, the first director, Mars Billy Animosphere. Although he may have appeared to be a good man, he was also a full-fledged mage.
Good is defined differently for a mage and for humans. Although the director Mars Billy may have been a righteous person, he was someone who has also possessed goodness as far as a mage is concerned. No, he acted for the greater good. He must have been worried. Can ray shifting really be done? Even if it is theoretically sound, is it possible for humans? Thinking that, he wanted Akuta's insurance. In the event that ray shifting was something humans couldn't endure. A true ancestor extraordinary body should be able to resuscitate even if the shift kills them. And that's why he made that cover story called Akuta Hinako. He invited her who had hidden in the darkness of history to Caldia. This isn't something that's happened before my previous self was summoned to Caldia. Or this is something. Certainly, Akata Hinako was a staff member in Caldia before she made it onto the A-team. I guess that Director Marsbilly wanted to put race shifting into practice no matter what. Yeah, even if he couldn't find a single candidate with good prospects, as long as he had a true ancestor as an experimental subject, the experiments would be a success. However, as it turns out, not only did he find many suitable candidates, he also managed to complete the Demi-Servant project meant to increase the success rate of summoning heroic spirits at the site of the ray shift. For Mr. Marsbilly, there was no need for Akata Hinako anymore.
In the end, the A-team was formed and she was buried with it until now.
Do you get it now? While feigning ignorance, he hid a true ancestor within the ranks. Without accepting any audits from the United Nations, it just shows how dark of an organization Caldia truly is. While it's ironic that none of the surviving staff knew about this. But Yu Miao Yi, if she really is a true ancestor, why would she agree to such treatment? Ada, did you find that strange? Eh? Well, I suppose it is hard for those finite lives to understand the hearts of those who can never die. In fact, I have praise for Mr. Marsbilly for being insightful enough to understand that and negotiate with her. In order to convince that misanthropic Okta-chan, he would have had to be very earnest and careful with his words. Even if he slipped up, I don't think he'd have said anything super lame like, "I'll give you a mink coat." I don't know much about Marsbilly. Romani Archerman would have known more about him, but...
Anyway, let's get going. Yes, first we must move. Staying in any particular spot for too long is suicidal, and facing Shi Huangdi as our enemy.
Okay. Okay. Let's deploy the camouflage field and get some distance in. It does hurt for the border to be taken. So we've got to transport a sick patient here.
Spare me, too. I can't eat anymore. Jinkei says that there's appeared to be something like a truck in the warehouse. Saya says that it was what was used to transport her there. It may not be the most comfortable ride, but it sure beats walking. Da Vinci says that settles the matter of transportation and hurries everyone along.
A long, long time ago, this was a beautiful place. When there was no wind in the sky, when there was no green on the earth. Those memories remain with me even now. It was a long, long time ago, before this planet had belonged to anyone. Before I had separated from the world, and long before I had attained this form of mine. But the memories that came after. It was full of the repulsive envy transformed from fear, resentment, and misconceptions. Even though our shape should be the same. Why do all of you hate me so? Why do you detest me so? Just because I do not suffer from death, why do all of you blame me? I did not wish for such a life. I too wanted death. To sink into the ends of oblivion together with the one I love. True ancestor. Bloodsucker. I don't know anything about that. But that was what I was arbitrarily called. What I was decided to be. I'm impure because I cannot die. I'm strange because I cannot age. That. All of that is what you've decided. That is what you forced upon me. That's why you chased me out, you humans!
I know full well that you hate humans. Humans will never leave you be. Even now, should your existence be discovered, executors will rush here from all corners of the earth. That's a fact that I cannot change, and thus I will not apologize for it. What I can do is only to accept your resentment. I can only continue to bow my head while receiving your condemnation. In addition, I have a proposal that you may deem shameless. If you wish for a peaceful abode, you have no choice but to retreat outside the circles of human activity. Humans have proliferated far too greatly. In particular, this century must not be a nightmare for you. The mountains are pioneered, the forests are reaped, and man expands their charts with unending hunger. You should have noticed that before this century is over, there will no longer be any place on Earth where you can reside in seclusion. As someone who shares a partial responsibility for this, I would like to offer you a deal. In a land with a sparse population, there is a closed community where outsiders cannot enter. That is the territory of mages, a place where no one pries into the affairs of others. To that place, to Arcadia, I offer you an invitation. As long as you are dressed in the mimicry that I have provided, no one will guess your true identity. In return, you will cooperate with my quest. You will dedicate yourself to fulfilling the long-standing desire of my clan. Ah, my apologies for the late introduction. My name is Mars Billianimosphere. If our interests match, I do hope for your understanding. One of the few flowers of the moon left in this world. The spirit of Gaia that is separated from the planet. The true human. You, Miao Yi.
I knew that it was all rubbish. I've met many times wise men now deceased who sought to expose my secrets and obtain the key to immortality. However, to bare my fangs at that man and rend him with my claws was... I was already far too tired to do that. That's right. No matter whether his words were true, he hit the mark about the very first thing he pointed out. There's no longer a place for me on this earth. There's no chamber in which I can sleep, nor any friends with whom I can belong. There is no place that I can go to. Nevertheless, the grieving lament of the one who went before me still tightens my chest even now.
You. My you. What will your fate be?
Yes. What I sought was a final resting place. A place where I could arrive and with confidence say those words. To say to him, who had died, that there was no longer any need to grieve for me. Even though that was the only wish that I had.
Awaken, fairy. It is time to return to the present. In the 5 months since you have arrived, you have undergone 48 full-body scans. But with this scan, the analysis is finally complete. Every secret of your body has now been recorded into my memory areas as information. The immortals of the Zhan realm, the secrets of the Zhenren. I have finally arrived at those. You have performed a great service, fairy. Or should I call you Akata Hinako, as I have been?
Whichever your majesty prefers.
You can have whatever reward you desire. Or, perhaps, you will be satisfied just with him, as you had originally wished.
Yes, I wish for nothing else.
Then I shall keep our promise, and at this time hand the frame of Kwaji Type 0 over to you. My first mechanical vassal, your long service has been exemplary. As you wish. I shall partake of my leave as of now.
Shang Yu. Though I do not know what role that mechanical servant played in your history. Is the one named Zhang Yu worth so much to you that you would hand over the secrets of Zhenren's body? Yu responds asking why Shi Huangdi would seek her as a model even though he already has the Fusang tree. The Emperor says that though the tree has given him the key to all secrets of life, by the time he found the Zhan realm, there were no gods or winged immortals around to be seen. Yu was the first actual fairy that he's encountered so far. I see. Regardless, with this, your covenant with me has been fulfilled. What will you do from now on? If I am allowed, I would be happy just to live a quiet life somewhere on the outskirts of the land your majesty rules.
That sounds wonderful. But will Caldia allow that?
They are rebels who have already angered your majesty. Even if I do not act, the warriors of Li Shan will bring you their heads.
You just don't want to show your raging state to Zhang Yu, am I correct? Well, that's fine. Compared to you with your true self revealed in Hong Kong, I think it's better for you to be a wolf in sheep's clothing as you are right now. However, before you depart my presence, there's one last thing that I must ask you. Will this world be destroyed?
Although the intention to destroy is vying with the intention to not be destroyed, I can no longer judge how it will all end. And thus here, I will not lie, but I will say how I truly feel. It doesn't really matter.
A good answer. If nothing else, you will not become my enemy.
Then I shall take my leave here.
Is this fun, my Emperor? She is an oddity who may still be harboring many more secrets.
That is certainly so.
The captain of the guard says even though she said she didn't care if everything was destroyed, as long as she's staying here, she may still be incited to act.
That is a Genren. In other words, the only person in this world that is comparable to me. It would have been truly unpardonable had she said that she would protect this world. It means that I would have had no choice but to regard her as having the intention of competing with me to become the protector of the world. However, if she is an individual who says she has no interest in anything in this world, then she is aligned with me, who rules everything under the heavens. There can be only one man who stands facing heaven and the earth in this world.
Indeed, it is as you say, sire.
The difference in the being of humans is in the origin of dispute. Therefore, it is needless for humans to be divided into kinds. As the sole human, I shall love and guide the masses. The people need only rest, feed, mate, and sleep to their heart's content on this land.
Gordolf is currently tying up Koyanskaya's hands and feet with wire. And Foe seems to be helping. Koyanskaya complained, saying that she'd been helping with us up to now. But it looks like the others are going to be in line with Gordolf's plan to tie her up.
Fokyun is on top of Koyanskaya's head.
Oh, also, Mesh said that she should reconsider Gordolf as a rather incredible person to be so energetic after just a small sucrose transfusion. He's stepping all over her. But I want to step all over her. Oh, fo. I understand your ferocious feelings, little one. Even I am no longer able to keep this impulse in check. That damnable she-devil, and to think you're in a Chinese dress in China this time. But it won't work on me, Koyanskaya-kun. I won't be fooled again. So what shall we do with you now?
Yeah, I've been captured by such a beast. Whatever will happen to me next? It's sure to be true sadism that exceeds the sadism from Shi Huangdi. A torture of ponds of alcohol and forests of meat, of the messiest sort in history. What awaits me at the end of imprisonment is a fate of shame and wantonness which is twisting my body in fear.
Gordolf says that he'd never be that cruel. Fo. Ho.
Yeah, calm down a little. Let me remind you that your life is still at stake.
That's right. I still need the antidote. I demand that you cleanse both myself and Gouda here of the poison. You'll be spared the fetters. Now, bring the antidote out from the valley between those breasts of yours. Take that sexy cleavage of this China dress. From that sexy cleavage of this China dress, take it out in answer to the hopes and dreams of all men.
Eh?
Koyanskaya says of course she will, according to the terms of her contract.
What? It's just this much.
Koyanskaya says, of course, there's only enough to make one dosage. She also says that drinking only half of it will not counteract the poison. Koyanskaya explains that she has only this much because it was meant to be absolutely lethal. So there wouldn't be any need to prepare an antidote in the first place. She only has one in case of the unlikely event where she happens to get poisoned herself. And so only one dose was necessary.
And so, as promised, just this time I've provided Caldia with the antidote. So, you should resolve the following problem on your own. Just who is going to drink it? Your Excellency, the Great Gordolf? Or will it be the Soul Master? I'm just saying, but Gudakun's body is just about to get real bad, okay? Although the protection from MASH can ameliorate the pain, the poison is circulated thoroughly through the body. Xuanzui Mingmai is a poison that drains life. The fact that there are scant few days of your lifespan remains unchanged.
I did kind of think that was the case.
Senpai. We can't decide this based on emotion. We have to consider the bigger picture here. Gudakun, my suggestion is to...
Gouda! We will do rock, paper, scissors.
What?
Between you and I, only one can live in advance. Therefore, this is a battle of life against life, so it should be judged fairly by fate. Rock, paper, scissors is the only way. Well, it should actually be a coin toss, but that would only give me the advantage. The Japanese prefer rock, paper, scissors, don't they?
Mr. Gordolf, to decide it was such a simple...
It is all right, Mash. The people involved should decide in a way that they can accept.
Now how about it, young man? This'll be a true showdown where we will move at the same time.
All right. Judgment Day, is it?
Yeah, you seem pretty calm about this. No hard feelings no matter who wins, okay? Afterwards, you can't do something violent that's unseemingly of a gentleman, like getting your servants to take it by force.
Oh.
Now then, let's do this! Rock!
Throw rock.
Ed, what?
Old man. What's with the scissors you threw out?
Impossible. I declared that rock would come first, so obviously you would have to secretly thought up a strategy where you use paper. My Siddha's stratagem, devised from predicting that ahead, to think that Ed would have been crushed like this. So this is what it's called to outsmart someone by being 2 steps ahead. So this is the tactical ability of one who has led servants to accomplish the restoration of the human order.
What was the other option? The other option was to throw paper. But I'm a winner.
Hey, Gordolf-kun, you're really...
I've lost. With this, there's no other way for me to save face than to obediently allow you to have the antidote.
Senpai? Yada yada. Hey, Gouda. We've gotten to see such an amusing sight, so it's fine already, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
What? Oi! Jinkei! What are you trying to do? Keeping me in a pinion hold?
Hi, Gordolf-kun. Open your mouth wide and say, ah. Ah.
Yeah. What's this? Hey, that medicine...
Hi. You've drunk it all down. Well done, well done.
Hey! I really swallowed it all, you know. That was the antidote. There's no more of it.
Well, I couldn't just leave you hang out to dry. In the first place, what saved me was
Director Gordolf eating half of the cake, right? If Senpai had eaten all of the cake by himself, even he would have collapsed immediately.
the new director didn't even say a word about that, so... Though it may only be in hindsight, Mr. Gordolf did save Mr. Gouda's life. Although you noticed that fact, you did not say anything at all. And that was because you judged it would be unfair to Mr. Gouda, who would be going out to fight.
Well, it's nothing like that.
That's why this makes us even.
You idiot. Even though you're just a greenhorn, you're trying to act all cool. Fine. This is just a matter of priority. The team needs its commander, after all. With this, I am now fully revived. Therefore, from now on, all of our operations will be a roaring success.
How meaningless. This makes my heart crawl. Should I just eat you from the head down?
Oh? Is there a lady unable to hide her killing intent standing right over there?
Anna, it's nothing like that, though. I've enjoyed seeing such an amusing farce. Humans really are like that. Tamamo-chan's so moved that her heart might just break.
Whoa! Whoa! That smile may fool the others, but it doesn't fool me. I've already figured out that the antidote you gave isn't the only way to cure the poison. Isn't that correct?
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? That really is a hopeful deduction. What are you basing it on?
It's your behavior in having arrived at this Chinese Lostbelt. You bided your time for the poisoning of Mr. Gouda. If it was an absolutely incurable poison, you need only flee to seal the deal. You should have erased your tracks and gone into perfect seclusion. And however, you came to this Lostbelt ahead of us. And why exactly would you commit such a foolish error? Why, the answer is simple. There's something here in this China that you must defend, anticipating our arrival. Isn't that right? In other words, it's the way to treat the poison that you used. I cannot think of anything else. Koyenskaya.
A man who keeps racking his brain pointlessly is truly unpleasant. Didn't Irene Adler say something similar?
I truly hope you won't equate that woman to a devil such as yourself. Whoa! Well then, what is the method to cure the poison that had Miss Koyenskaya rush all the way here? It's something that's already been lost in pan-human history. It's also something unable to be obtained in other lost belts.
The Fusang tree!
Ah, that's true. In this lost belt, there are many unique things, but the Fusang tree stands out above all others. Its broad use from a biological perspective has been proven by Shi Huangdi himself. The components required to manufacture such an intricate poison can't be found in other systems of magecraft.
Well, trying to beat around the bush at this point would just be unsightly. Yes, well deduced. That poison was made from the Fusang tree. The Fusang tree's roots still distill yin energy. You can call it the Sage Degenerating Death Pulse. Or the Sensui Nuimyaku. The Fusang tree's leaves are infused with yang energy, which is sage vitalization life force. Therefore, whether it's the poison or the antidote, both need the components of the tree. Of course, it's possible to synthesize an antidote even without the Fusang tree, as long as you can extract the same components, but it's a mystery that's been lost to pan-human history, and so procurement of those materials is impossible, isn't it? So the antidote that I carried would become the sole thread of hope. With his life in my hands, Gouda-kun would have to do whatever I say. And I was thinking it wouldn't be too bad to turn him into my poor pitiful slave, but Akita-chan's reports still concerned me.
She goes on to say that Akita's reports spoke of a lost belt where the Fusang tree had fallen into human hands and been preserved. She says she wished she had never heard of that news. And it's what really ruined her. Holmes remarks that she's quite the worrisome person. Koyanskaya says she prefers to call herself just good at risk hedging. Yes, well, at any rate, as long as we obtain the Fusang tree, an antidote can be made.
That's about right.
Da Vinci said, Koyanskaya says that means we'll have to face off against Shi Huangdi, and asks if we understand that. Da Vinci deems the confrontation to be inevitable anyway, seeing as he's deemed us all as Ruis and a target for elimination. And furthermore, we have to remove a fantasy tree anyway. The hidden tree. Well, these problems are bundled together. As with before, the top priority of curing Mr. Gouda's poison remains unchanged. Shall we make Zhang Yang our next target, Director?
Yes. Right, no matter what, we must get our hands on that antidote. As a staff member of Kolya, Gouda's life is my responsibility as director, so that's how this is. You can't be dying before me.
Yes, that's the spirit.
Oh, foe! Now don't worry, we'll definitely find a method of treatment and help you out. So work hard to defeat this Shi Huangdi.
Thank goodness. It might still be too early to be relieved, but one of our problems has been solved now.
Yeah.
Yes, we've finally gotten our new and usual director back, Senpai.
Alright, that was Section 12. good stuff in that section. A lot of good stuff.